Hey everybody, it's Chad Warren. Hope you're well. I wanted to focus on some trash talk, basically, on social media, which is uncomfortable. It's petty. I don't really like to see those videos myself. But the reason why I'm showing this is I'm making my case. I am being open with being imperfect and being angry. I'm not ashamed of that. The basic premise is that all of these Trump supporters are a problem because where did Trump come from? Well, there's a huge discussion about that. Number one, the largest psychographic marketing campaign ever was used to get him elected, so that all this information on social media that we put out there was parsed through to make super specific ads that appeared in people's timelines to get people to vote for him based on their, oh, it feels like it's talking to me. That doesn't have anything to do with Trump. It doesn't matter who these presidents are. So, but people that still believe in voting have a mental problem. And it's mind control, because it's not complicated to understand these things, but people's emotions and their sense of identity is tied up into things like social media, into things like the American flag, into things like MAGA hats that are how you're a hypocrite walking around. Now, first of all, before I make all this commentary, the number one problem that I see is everybody has behavior issues. Well, it's nice to see Mandy. Haven't seen her in a long time. So that's just a huge thing that I notice, is that myself most definitely included, when people are commenting about this is the problem, it's because we don't want to face things that we need to change in our lives. And the truth movement, 9/11 Truth, using the internet to research controversial subjects, understanding that the people that win the wars write the history, it's the Masons. That's what all this Tartaria reset discussion is about. Fomenko was another part of that, talking about how history is changed to, all of these things are to destabilize humanity, to control it by these secret societies. You can't become president without the Masons telling you what to do. So all the people that support Trump think that they're pro-America, but they're not. And in the truth movement, myself, okay, let's just for sake of discussion say these things that I'm saying are worth looking into, are more true than not, and even though they're in the minority of opinion and whatever. Well, it's causing chaos, right? So this argument here is unfortunate, because it's not possible to make any headway with reason with people. And the basic premise of that is, I think, like Elon Musk is talking, controls the mammalian brain. So our feelings and our perceptions of threat or lusting after material possessions. So that's why everybody's tripped up and not seeing, Enter the Stars. He's this Christian mystic, and he's always focusing on hidden Freemasonic codes in Hollywood media, predictive programming. But then there's never a question that Christianity is a problem. Just like these people would go, oh, there's no way. I'm not even going to think about anything wrong with Trump. I'm not going to think about he was bailed out by the Russian mob that runs the construction business in New York in the 80s with his condo deals, and that obviously, this Ukrainian, that's what this issue is with the impeachment, right? Discussions about with the Ukrainian president, and the accusation is that he asked him to look into Joe Biden to stop Joe from being a competitor in this presidential election coming up, as if he was ever a serious option. Obviously Trump is going to win. I couldn't imagine. Of course, we couldn't imagine that Trump would win. So there you go. So we're all caught into this chaos. We're feeding that, and we're not able to break free from that, whether you support the truth movement or whether you support Trump. What are these people going to do when Trump's gone? They're done. So if they really cared about these conservative values, yeah, I agree. We need to have the border wall with Mexico and America secured. I'm not for war at all, but my opinion is in the minority. So I'm trying to drag people my way by saying, well, let's say you were pro war, and this is financially good for America, which is terrible. Like, it's our CIA that runs drugs. I mean, that's what the whole Mena airport situation. I live here in Little Rock, Arkansas. This is Arkansas-sided. The Clintons using the state troopers as their personal secret security force, SS. So, oh shoot, I got lost in what I was saying there. I found James Sanders in a Facebook post, and this is commonly the way this goes. The unfortunateness in the question, how do we relate with people? If they're like, well, white people have privilege and they need to feel guilty, and I'm supporting this white genocide because that's what's fair. No, I can't hang out with that person. It doesn't. I mean, yeah, you want to. The only reason to hang out with that person would be to make some kind of change in their behavior, or defensively. When people live in these places like the Middle East where they have to live around other people that they disagree with very much. So to me, all of this is about trying to get out of this digital ghetto of Facebook and learn politics, learn conflict resolution, psychologically, to be open and admit our faults. This is all interpersonalism, how you're by yourself, but you're connecting with all these people, which is a Gnostic thing, that you got Christianity gives way to Protestantism, which is about the individual deciding what is the Word of God, until you get people like me that are saying, maybe you should question the whole religion of Christianity, all of it. Maybe you should question America, because what those are these scams to worshiping Trump and the Constitution. We have to be the power, you know what I mean? To where it's like, I feel I have more respect for organized crime. And that's why people love all these movies. Frank Sinatra started rock and roll, and it's this weird schizophrenic thing where I don't like cliques, and I don't like secrets and people that think they're better than other people, which is Zionism, which is the defining what runs the world. So that when all these black people, if they believe in social justice, which is predominantly not even black people, it's white people that are likely to attack me for being white. But anyway, they are practicing the deepest form of racism. They're all tricked by these Zionists. That's on the left. Then all these Trump people, they're authority worshiping Trump. They're not doing anything that's actually helping America because they don't want to go deeper beyond that surface level to realize that, like with this Epstein thing that we see behind you, the Epstein didn't kill himself meme is a scam so that Trump fans can believe the lie that pedophilia is being eliminated. Okay? And I linked to Pedro V's video about it. And he was talking about, who even follows these mass shootings. Whether people are being really killed or not doesn't matter. The point of it is you have the former Attorney General under Obama, Eric Holder, saying we've got to brainwash these people to get rid of guns. That's verbatim, pretty much his word. He definitely said brainwash these people to get rid of guns. So this is me getting in an argument with all these pro-Trump people. Ronald Wayne Bean. No one said it was being eliminated. Yeah, they are acting like that. Q, which is obviously controlled opposition, and I think James True is right that Q is Bannon. Because that's what he does for a living, and that's what we're all trying to do. Let's be honest about that. We are like crabs fighting in a bucket, trying to have some effect over politics. Number one, because it's like a MMA sport. It's an adrenaline rush. That was my critique about Enter the Stars. He's talking about adrenochrome, right? But I mean, all of us that watch this controversial content are getting a high off of feeling like we're in this spiritual warfare, which all of that's fostered by the Bible, right? The Rockefellers totally had this idea that God put him there to be rich and to run the world, and that's where all this charitable giving, philanthropy, these trusts, the Arthur T. Keck Foundation, and all that. That's how communism got started. That's why we play the game Monopoly. One person's got all the money. They become the state. All this stuff that happens today is the merging of both of these. Capitalism is the first wave of communism. Because a long time ago, people didn't have these central bank notes that you could go all around the world with credit cards and all the Templar military banking, all of that is leading to this. And America is designed by these Masons, these Zionists, as this stepping stone towards this new world order. And of course, Rome was a new world order. They were trying to connect all the world. So it's the same game, and it just changes its packaging. So, Christianity didn't stop pedophilia. So when you get caught up in, they had the calf god Baal and they were, what Christianity did is it taught people to leave two lives. Constantine was a Mithras worshiper, which itself is connected to Iran, and the monotheism of Zoroastrianism, I think, is all involved in that. Everything's all connected, obviously. But Christianity want to be the good people, but they're shallow and naive. So Christianity in America causes evil to happen because they have this false hero of Jesus, that you're going to die, and by your relationship with that hero that you worship, that you can never be, you're a piece of shit still. It causes people to not address what's going on in the world that we live in. And by worshiping this America mystique, you're not actually honoring these conservative values that are important. That's what I'm saying. All of these people in the cult of Trump, they don't understand the basics of politics. Is that they're going to tell you what you want to hear. They're going to give you a show, right? But there's nothing that's changing. Trump's in an impeachment hearing now. Nixon was in his impeachment hearing. Nixon was who connected America to China. I think the EPA was started under his watch. So, how much is the economy actually improving? It's not. Robots are taking over the economy. So Trump can talk all this talk and you can believe it, but if you're putting on blinders and then attacking me because I'm saying that's all shit, then fuck you. Why should I be ashamed of that? I want to hurt your feelings. You know what I mean? I want to dig in there and say, you're not actually, and none of us on this whole internet talking about things are doing anything. Because we're all of us addicted to this. You naturally are connected to the whole universe. It's all electronic plasma. So, if you have a thought about somebody and then they call on the phone and you notice these synchronicities in life and yeah, maybe there's something to this astrology. Obviously there is. The Beatles released their album on 9/11 and and all of these planets are in a line, and that's why they picked that time, and there was nothing new. They were just taking the old Jesus stuff and repackaging. So I'm not going to let you live in your little cult of Q and thinking that you're doing anything to stop that you're not changing the fundamental way that the system is run just because Trump says he is. That's juvenile, and I'm calling you out on it. No one said it was being eliminated, but it has happened. What has happened is more than 1,000 people have been arrested in the last 4 years for trafficking children. This has never happened before. Trump made it a priority day one, and there have been great results with more to follow. The dominoes are dropping. That is a Q phrase, I believe. The dominoes are falling. The whole revolution that started in America was fake. So therefore, this whole supposed deep state coup is fake. Where did the Boston Tea Party? That's one of these cherished mental constructs that conservatives hold on to. Where did that start? It started at the Green Dragon Tavern in Boston. Yes? Yes. As was shown in the Disney movie, The Sons of Liberty. That was the Masons. They met at that bar before they had lodges, houses dedicated to it in America. What did they do? They dressed up as the enemies, the Indians, and dumped a bunch of tea in the harbor that would have been like millions of dollars. It really was, if it did occur. Hey, if we weren't there, I don't know that anything occurred. That's an uncomfortable truth. So that's a whole problem that is going on. I'm in another video I'm about to make talking about revisionist history. This Robert Phoenix is with Emily Moyers on Off Planet Radio. The problem is that we don't worse. We don't know anything is true about history. So we're in this uncomfortable, chaotic zone where we're challenging what we were told about everything, which increases chaos. That's the problem of the truth movement, and Josh Reeves is a good place to go to look into the weaknesses of the truth movement. Donald Trump, what charity did he give money to after 9/11? Just one. It was Scientology, to rehab first responders through their mind control, which is Satanism. But then Satan, see, that's where I got tricked. Oh, if you hear Satan or Lucifer, then that must mean Jesus is real. Satan means the adversary. Like anybody that's played sports, they got, okay, half of you guys take off your shirts. It's shirts versus skins. It's controlled opposition. The Tea Party in Boston is the same thing as the CIA pretending to be ISIS today. So anything with a flag on it is a magical, all of these are magical tools. It's capturing, it's a sigil that it has been implanted. It's just like playing people like a piano. Da 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 da. That's a key, you know. Fake rebel movement. Ding. Star Wars. Ding. You know, you're just poking in our brain. So if you don't think that you're mind controlled, you're fucking full of shit. And when I was a little kid, for some reason, probably because I was an only child and just always struggled to fit in. And that right there is a battle. Is it because, you know, why do I have a hard time getting along with people? Because their mind is consumed with bullshit. Whether it was as a little kid, hey, did you watch the A-Team? Did you watch the Saturday Night Live? Did you get your programming? Are you up to speed on Pepe, meme? It's like, no, you people are putting horse shit in your brain, but you're all agreeing on it. And that's this democratic mind fuck where you think that because these other people are playing this game that makes it valid. No, there's a 1% of people that are these secret rulers, and then there's probably about a 1% of us that know enough about it to be worthwhile leaders. Not that we want to be, but you know, that's the way this game works. You either go along with it because these other people are this predatory behavior, right? You either continue to be this consumer slave, or you go, golly, I have to devote myself to actually being good, and then sloughing off America and Christianity and social justice warrior and all of these fake armor. So I have to be okay with not getting along with 98% of the people. Which is why we have this me talking to the phone and sharing my version of reality. I would appreciate it if you would refrain. Okay. No fundamental change is occurring. It's a show, and you Trumpers eat it up, just like how people worshipped Mao and Hitler while they got screwed. I would appreciate it if you would refrain from any type of name calling. You might think of it as male banter or just a joke, so I will let it pass. But please, in the future, do not call me a Trumper or any variation of the name, nor compare my support of this president to the historical support of the Nazis, communists, or any leftist leader demands from the populace. As I have said before, I support Trump, and I am in agreement with the majority of what he has done so far. I've been at this for a long time. My first election to vote in was Reagan's first term. I've agreed and disagreed with every president. You know, fuck you. You're voting. You are an enemy of the people. Harvard did a study. At best, legislation has a 30% chance of becoming law because of the influence of money. Where's all that money coming from? The Zionists. What's the most powerful lobby in Congress? AIPAC, the Israeli lobby. So fuck you. That's the only, you want to play this game where you're offended, but you're going to deny information that I'm clearly telling to you, and then you're just going to say, I don't believe it. Fuck you. That's all that's to be done with you. I don't want to be your friend. I'm not, you know what I mean? You can't be a friend with somebody like that. I have agreed and disagreed with every president in my lifetime. With Obama, it was practically nothing I agreed with. With Trump, there is really nothing so far that I disagree with other than timing. Were I him, the wall would have gone up day one. Yeah. Did he jail Hillary? No. Did he build the wall? No. We put up a few sheets here. There's no way a Mexican's ever dug a tunnel. Voter fraud would have been made war on day two. Oh, you mean like how the United States is not allowed on the United Nations board that oversees the voting in the third world? Because we rely on companies like Diebold that run all the ATMs. That's one of the largest Republican contributors. Fucking, 12-year-olds have shown, hey, look, I can hack these voting machines. Hey, let's show that on TV. You're all retarded. Computers run everything. There's a YouTube of a guy that takes down whole call centers. That's who's doing something in the world. Not any of these people that support voting. Enemies eviscerated with directed energy weapons on day 3. Oh my God. So he's pro-war. Look, man, we just had Veterans Day. What was Veterans Day originally called? Armistice Day, which was supposed to be the war to end all wars. Did you know that World War I they publicly declared this is when it's going to start and this is when it's going to end on the 11th day of the 11th hour of the 11th day? Come on, man. It's fucking rich people that have us fight each other. So the only thing to do with you people is to deal with you like zombies, to say, fuck you, you're inhuman, humanity is on the ropes, and you're got Stockholm Syndrome, you've been gaslighted, and you're kissing the ass of Trump. So I'm going to take those fucking hats off your head, because you don't deserve to be saying that you stand for those values. The mass expulsion of all illegals, day 4, with real prison terms for those who harbored them. Okay? I mean, you'd have to talk about the whole, even legal immigration. Why are people moved around the world? Which is what started these British colonies like America. They're moved around the world to destabilize people so that they don't have the strength of a culture. All of this is very painful for all of us. This is where I do share the same heart as a lot of these Trump people about. It's painful to see America losing, which you have to agree with because you're wearing this Make America Great Again hat, so you know that it's not great anymore. It never was the people. The purpose of England, right? If they had just expanded their empire under the Queen and all that, kings and queens and Zionism, they would have faced a lot more resistance. So they're like the Borg. Rome learned from the barbarians like the Gauls, the French that tried to take over. That's what Rome was all about. The whole concept that we have of states within a federal union is Rome, and all the Bill of Rights, you know. But it's evil because, you know, we uphold these values of freedom of speech, freedom of religion, freedom, right to bear arms, etc. And to us, they represent the strength of the people. But to the ruling class, that represents their lessons that they learned about how to control a populace by giving them a little bit of freedom so that it takes less energy to control them. The Pope wears that yarmulke hat. Jews wear that yarmulke hat. That meant that's where our freedom of religion. See, you can't be given freedom by the government. And then you have to really question, you know, most people were illiterate at the time of the founding fathers, who were like in their 20s. And so you have this big power differential, just like today, only those people really were like, you know, the whole idea rested on those individual people. They didn't have Twitter and in this whole structure of public relations to assist them. That really, I assume, I mean, I wasn't there, but I assume that they really were a lot. There's been a de-evolution of humanity. The ancient Greeks bitched about this stuff, let alone in the late 18th century. But you really have to question, did people really take over? You know what I mean? Where's the union today? None of those things are authentic. You know what I mean? Like, if you know that there are places where these Jewish people, and this is no all kinds of groups, but that they've been caught dressing up as KKK members, as neo-Nazis, and staging terrorist attacks to blame it on those groups. So it goes the other way. All of this Trump stuff is controlled opposition. So I just, you know, I'm sorry if this video goes on forever and is boring or whatever, but my point is I don't think there is really anything that can be done. He hadn't seen anything criminal about Trump. It doesn't matter that he's connected to Epstein. They're like, only the Clintons, you know. He's never dealt with Russia mob in New York, because you have to build there. Come on. That's just this like cognitive dissonance. Which is it? Is everything corrupt? Or, you know what I mean? I'm corrupt. Everybody is, because we're all authority worshipers. You know what I mean? There has been no free humanity since like before Rome. We've all been collected into these nations. You think nations is your big what's going to defend you? No, those nations were created. They were created by these secret societies, by these Zionists that want to rule the world. It's just stupid. It's just impossible to deal with these people, because I think any of us, the only time that we're going to get in touch with truth is by experiencing this pain of disconnecting from this false thing. And obviously trauma brings that out into people. You know, getting divorced was a big factor. Being an only child, or whatever, we all have whatever it is, and whether we perceive ourselves to be, right? That if you're doing good, if you've got money, then you're going to tend to defend the establishment. That's real simple, right? And then there's this problem. What's going on? Well, you know, nobody can really come to your side because you don't have anything to offer. That's the problem with the truth movement. They've got the fake truth movement, which is the Trumpers, right? Or if you support voting, Ronald, you're fake. I hope that does hurt your feelings. I'm challenging your manhood. There's just no way to avoid you can't just be Amish and just be like, I'm just going to go have a farm and ignore all this. Joey Boomer Pie, not true. The Epstein memes rock, and letting the globalist fake media know we will not back down. We know their lies, and we will remember them every day, just like you never forget 9/11 and don't do anything about it. You're worthless. What are you, a child? Do you think the same Russian mob that bailed Trump out of bankruptcy doesn't own him? You're the weakness of America. Another Christian sheep led to the slaughter by fascist Zionist Rome. Why insult people, Chad? How about just debate the topic? Because you idiots, ignore facts about how everything is controlled opposition. That is all that's left that you're that you're good for. The Masons started America. God, these fucking keypad constantly doesn't hit right. The Masons started America with the Boston Tea Party by pretending to be Indians like the CIA pretends to be ISIS today. But you support Trump. So you're a Masonic boob. That is too mind controlled to be of value because you want to hero worship Trump like you were taught to kiss Jesus' ass. That none of that helps. Don't tell people what or how to think. You tell people to vote for Trump, so you're a liar. So you are hypocritical. You're telling me what to think right now. Russia is on our side. If we are not on the evil side, that is, which I am not sure we or you are on. You don't know what the hell's going on, Joey Boomer Pyatt. Don't know what the hell's going on. Donald Sams, except pedophilia and human trafficking are being eliminated. More so than any... Oh, bullshit. Really? Really? Because you can buy children through an app sold as domestic workers. The BBC did a segment on it. As of titty bars and porn dating sites is bigger than ever. And infogram whores Sorry you got such Trump phobia, brother. He's no savior, but he's not responsible for every bad thing that's ever happened in the history of man, as you seem to think. That's a stupid fucking thing to say. Nobody said that. It's stupid. Close your ears. Close your ears and open your eyes. Look at action instead of listening to opinions. So I should ignore your opinion. Done. I'm a Zionist and IDF veteran. Do you actually know what Zionist is, or just use it in place of something anti-Semitic? Israel was founded by Hitler. See the transfer written by Edwin Black, who is Jewish. The Talmud says the Jews are supreme, and the Christians are their Goyim stooges who also claim supremacy. Fuck you, racist. Boom. How about that? What I got here? No, I'm anti-Semitic. They're not even. 85% of Jews are Ashkenazi and are not Semitic. that word refers to a group of people who speak the same language. Boom. The media isn't Zionist. Yes, Jewish leadership, Zionists believe in the existence of Israel. The liberal left does not. The liberal left believes Israeli Jews should just die. You know, like those other democratic socialists, the Nazis. Quit calling every Jew a Zionist. They're independent of each other and not. I never called every Jew Zionist. Liar. The right-wing Zionists pay for Alex Jones to support Trump. They are the Russian mob that runs MMA fighting and Joe Rogan. Senators should not have dual loyalty to Israel, which 27 of them do. You can't support Israel first. Israel first, like Trump, then say America first. It's a lie. Anyway, I hope this is of some value to you, just to see. All I care about is that people just clearly, get my point of view, what it is. It's a lot of frustration. I have no that assume these group identities. I'm an American. I got white skin. Oh, you know what I mean? Take off all the shitty fucking hats. So, it's very uncomfortable, every time I try to hang out with people, it seems impossible because they are just taken over by these mental viruses. And of course, they're just going to say the same thing about me. So that's why I make these videos, because that's the only person worth talking to is myself, and then it filters out the other people that are on the same wavelength. It's very uncomfortable. I don't see any solutions. Humanity is on the ropes. The robots are taking over. You can't fret about this stuff, but you can't ignore it either. What are you going to do? Love you. Have a good day. Check me out at ChadWarren76 at Twitter and ChadWarren.me online. Please like, comment, and share. Thank you.